The fine is $25,000, which is outrageous for walking the woods. $25,000. His fee is over $28,000. They just said that there's taxes and victim fees on top of that. Who's he victimizing in this?
Disrupt America that I fought.
Weird thing to happen. I don't even have the words to describe this story. So we told you about Nova Scotia, how they psychotically track down people who are walking and hiking through forests and giving them a penalty of a $25,000 fine. That's not a joke. That's literally happening right now. That they're penalizing people from enjoying summer, from going outside, from hiking the forest to outdoor activities. And this draconian measure, this complete authoritarian crackdown on their own civilians is just getting worse. So here's this video. This guy here, his name is Jeff Ebley, I think his name is. I know he's a veteran, according to his profile, so thank you for your service. But he's filming this video. He's by the woods area. He's in Nova Scotia. And he's about to record himself barely stepping into the forest. Cops are already at the scene watching this guy filming himself by the forest. So clearly someone around spotted this man as he's about to enter the forest area, called out the police. The police came immediately to observe this guy and watch how they want to try to arrest him for barely stepping into the forest for a simple walk. This guy has no weapons, no means of danger to anybody, but they want to arrest him for simply going outside, enjoying nature, and barely stepping into the forest. Watch this.
Hey everybody, Jeff Eveley here, out in Nova Scotia on Mountain Road in Coxheath. And as you can see behind me, this is the woods. But over here, this is not the woods. This is the Department of Natural Resources, where the conservation officers work, who issue $25,000 fines for going in the woods.
So, not bad. I'm Jeff Eveley. I called earlier.
Eveley?
Yeah, Eveley. I spoke to somebody earlier.
Yeah.
About the woods ban.
Yep.
And I understand that you guys issue $25,000 fines right now for anybody who goes in.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to go in the woods over here.
Okay.
I don't want to make any trouble for you guys. Okay, I took this to court the last time they did it. They said I didn't have standing because I wasn't fined, so there was no money involved.
Okay.
So I want to challenge this order in court, and the only way for me to do that is to get the fine. So I'm not trying to make trouble for you guys, okay? I just want a piece of Tim Houston, and I want to be as accommodating and nice as I can be. I'm just gonna...
Okay, so I'm ordering you.
So he's at the conservation site, which is right behind him, which is why the officers are in proximity to him. And he's openly stating that he's not endangering anybody. He's not trying to violate the law for the sake of, being an asshole. He's doing this to challenge the system, to challenge the premier, Tim Houston, in this ridiculous law that's damaging to people. You can't walk outside. You can't go hiking. You can't go camping. You can't go swimming or fishing because of the threat of creating a wildfire on the lake if you're fishing. Their draconian measure of $25,000 penalty fees for stepping outside and enjoying nature in the province of Nova Scotia. That's what he's doing here. And he's openly stating this to the conservation minister, to the officers at the building there. So they're all well aware of what the intent is here. But they're still going to crack him down for barely making a step into that forest area. Watch.
You to not.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, I
That's
understand.
another.
Roger that.
I'm doubling fines right now.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right.
he has to be in the woods.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a violation yet, so.
Well, they're very nearby. I thought instead of crossing the road, I would just go in the back here, just for safety purposes. And, you know, we can do it like that. Does somebody want to follow me out there, or? And you know, yeah, it would be good to do a witness. And if it's okay with you, I would like to record a video. If you don't want to be on camera, I can keep you off it. But I think that it's in the interest of justice that we provide a fulsome record for the court because of the precedent-centered nature of this case. So I can keep you off camera, keep your name out of it, all that stuff.
So, I mean, this guy is not a criminal. This guy is making a full front case in front of the people that are eventually going to catch him and give him a penalty. You know, he's stating exactly his intentions. And he's openly admitting that I'm not here to violate the law. I'm here to make a point. So it goes
Whatever works
further.
for you, but
We'll be in court, so.
yep, we'll be in court, so we might as well have a fulsome record, right?
But you have to go in the woods. One
Yes.
or two steps.
Sure. You want to show me where the woods is out back here?
The
Or
woods is
across
okay,
wherever you
because
want.
We still have to suggest that you don't.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just ordered me. He said he's going to double my fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to defy that order. Nothing personal.
Okay, so whatever happens after you leave here.
Yeah.
we'll-
Nothing personal.
we
Okay.
we got that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, one more time, this is the DNR office on Mountain Road in Coxheath, Nova Scotia, and this is not the woods. But back here, this is the woods. So, I have a couple of conservation officers with me right now who are not on camera but have advised me that if I go into the woods, if I defy their orders to go into the woods, then I will be fined, and they also said that they would double my fine to $50,000. So I'm going to walk down here and go into these woods. I don't know that there's a good spot to do this, but I'm just going to make this as painless as I can for those guys and go in here. And they have me on camera as well, walking in the woods. All right, isn't this great? And maybe there's an easier way out of here than I came in. Let's try this. We good? Okay. Okay. And I didn't ask, but did you write the ticket already, or?
Nope, we'll meet you back out front.
Back out front at the reception desk there? Okay, if I bring my camera, keep you guys off it? Okay. I'll see you in there, guys. Thank you.
He barely makes it, I don't know, like maybe 5 feet in. They have the officers waiting, standing outside the woods. He barely gets into the woods. They threaten him with doubling the fine. And then he asks, as he's exiting out of the woods area, if the officers wrote the ticket. And they said, no, you have to go inside to the conservation area. This is literally, it's a clown show. It's literally a joke that you have officers watching, surveilling, making sure this guy isn't into doing any harm to the precious woods. You know, he explained to you in full detail the whole intent of this. And you threatened him with doubling the fine. And he didn't even write the damn ticket. Wow. So let's see what happens when he goes inside the conservation area.
This is not the woods. Hi. I was just out back with the 3 gentlemen there. They said they would meet me back in here, so. She's gone to get them.
So the order would have to go long form, and
Okay.
that would put us off months in advance for court times. So if we just do a SOT
Okay.
for entering the woods
Yeah.
without forest travel permit when proclamation is effect, you have a court plea date. Your due date is the 12th of September, so it's a lot quicker, just the ticket. So
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So this
you want
is
to go that to make it quicker.
okay. So this is an SOT, and that is for summons to accused. What is this?
Summary offense ticket
Yeah.
for today's date. Your information, Forest Act 25 sub 1. Fine is $28,872.50.
Okay. I thought it was 25,000. It's 28,870.
With court costs, victim fees.
Taxes.
Oh, victim fees. Okay. Sounds good.
I don't know if you caught that. So the fine is $25,000, which is outrageous for walking the woods. $25,000. His fee is over $28,000. And he's questioning that, saying, I thought the fee was $25,000. I thought that's what that was permitted by the province of Nova Scotia. They just said that there's taxes and victim fees on top of that. This is literally a joke. I never thought you could put taxes and victim fees on a penalty fine for simply walking into the forest area. Who's he victimizing in this? What victims are being harmed by a single person with no one else around walking into a wooded area? On top of taxes. Of course, because this is Canada. Of course, there's going to be taxes on top of a fee. On top of a penalty fee. On top of a charge that doesn't even make sense. Wow. And they wonder why so many other countries, they wonder why so many people look at us with these insidious headlines, with the idea of penalizing people for enjoying the summer, with these ridiculous authoritarian fines, 25 grand. That's more than murderers. That's more than people with assault charges get. 25 grand. And on top of that, now he's paying taxes and victim fees. You wonder why people look at us and think we're a giant embarrassment. And as someone that lives in this country, I have to agree. Because this is an embarrassing time. This is a joke. A damn joke. $28,000 for barely stepping into the forest. And this guy who went to the officers beforehand explained all this. Explained all the intentions. He's not there to cause harm. He's not there to be aloof or anything else other than the fact that this is a joke of a law. This legislation is just unbelievably overreaching. And you're demonizing an entire population for something that they cannot control. They can't control that there's dry conditions out there. They can't control that wildfires are spurring out. This is literally ridiculous. Literally ridiculous. So, here's the guy here, Jeff Evely. And he says, I got fined $28,872.50 for walking into the woods of Nova Scotia. This arsonist got no fine and no jail time. The man who set the 2023 Nova Scotia wildfire was charged with lighting a fire on privately owned land without the permission of the owner or occupier, failing to take responsibility efforts to prevent the spread of the fire, and leaving the fire unattended, but not arson. if tyrant Timmy Houston, that's the premier of Nova Scotia that set this, if tyrant Timmy Houston really cared about preventing wildfires, he would prosecute left-wing climate-zealous eco-terrorists to the full extent of the law and leave the rest of us alone. So what's he referring to when it comes to arsonists? Well, this article. This came out of the CBC July 22nd, so just a couple of weeks ago. Saskatchewan volunteer firefighter who set 30 fires in a month is sentenced for arson. Go figure. A volunteer firefighter convicted of arson, setting 30 wildfires. That's like a police officer that's trigger happy. That never happens, right? Logan Sebian sentenced to 18 months of probation and 200 hours of community service. That's nothing for arson, for 30 fires that affects the entire province of Saskatchewan and the country as a whole. And they give him 18 months probation, 200 hours of community service. Barely anything. But this guy, who barely walks into a forest, gets over $28,000 in penalty charges. Not to mention the court fees that he's going to pay on top of that, and probably going to be taxed, to rebuke this. It is absolutely insane what's happening here. Absolutely insane. But the direction of this country. And people like to make the excuse that, well, we have to put these measures on foot to prevent future wildfires, and climate change is such a big deal, and we can't allow people to just walk in the woods merely because what if, they are arsonists? What if they start a fire? What if their cigarette smoke causes some sort of combustion? Then you charge those individuals that deliberately start a fire. But you don't penalize the rest of the province and anyone else that is also trying to just enjoy the bit of summer we have in this country, in Canada. Because this is an absolute joke. $28,872.50 for barely walking into the woods. Even with his case, even with stating right to the conservation officers exactly his intent, they still have to charge him. They still have to build up the ante of doubling the penalties. They want to charge him $50,000. He barely makes it in to the forest area. But they want to charge him this ridiculous fine because Tim Houston put this authoritarian measure onto the people of Nova Scotia, onto Canadians, onto anyone. Anyone that travels to Nova Scotia could be easily affected to this. How do you think that's going to affect tourism? How do you think that's going to affect people within your town? Well, look at this. This is from the Travel and World Tour website. It says, Canada's shocking new ban on hiking and camping. How wildfires are crushing tourism and trapping locals in 2025. So, all this time that they've been telling people not to travel to the United States, not to go elsewhere, enjoy the wonders that is Canada. They kept emphasizing that, elbows up, enjoy the rest of Canada, go explore your own territory, don't go look elsewhere. And now people are discouraged from going to Nova Scotia because they can't even go outside and take a walk. They can't go to Peggy's Cove. They can't go to landmarks within Nova Scotia because of these ridiculous fines for no apparent reason. It makes absolutely no sense to anyone. but it's a great way to keep people trapped in. It's great when you're an overreaching authoritarian government that want to penalize your own civilians for the simple, mundane task of enjoying the outdoors. And sadly, it's just absolutely devastating. Absolutely devastating. And the fact that this man is getting this charge on top of taxes and victim fees makes us even more of a laughingstock of a country. And it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. So, like I said, from the get-go, as soon as things were starting to turn south, as soon as things were starting to get even more worse for this country, I don't know what's going to take for people to wake up and realize that we need a complete overhaul of the entire system. Because Tim Houston, by the way, is a progressive conservative. So you can't even really say this is a liberal tactic. Because he's a PC party member. Just like Doug Ford. And yet, they fold right into the authoritarian measures that the same liberal party also endures onto us. Just absolutely crazy.